of that, trying to explain what's going on there. Some of the administrative issues that we've identified with the increase in the federal standard deduction and the elimination of the personal exemption deduction, like Chris said, we expect more people to itemize for Oregon only. I think he said it's going to go down 15% for federal itemizers, and 47% is going to stay about the same for Oregon. So depending on how the IRS reacts to the form and the changes there, we may end up having to do an Oregon only Schedule A. We have to wait and see. We don't know for sure what they're going to do. The state and local tax deduction that they talked about, it's limited to $10,000 now. It's $5,000, with the cap between property tax and income tax. Right now, you have an addition for the state income tax, but you don't have an addition for the property tax. So there's some ordering issues, like if someone has $5,000 of property taxes and $13,000 of income tax, which goes first? Is there an add back of 5,000 and 5,000? Is there an add back of 10,000? So those are kind of issues that we need to work through with you folks. That particular item also affects how we calculate the credit for taxes paid to another state. It also affects how we issue 1099-Gs. All these changes, these are just administrative changes. I'm not talking about the policy changes that you folks get to deal with. The personal exemptions is a big deal for us because many of the credits you have created, such as the working family child care credit, working family household and dependent care credit, is based on the number of federal exemptions, the dependents. And if they change their forms in any way to not require that anymore because it's not as important to them, then that's going to have an impact to us. We also rely on the IRS to validate the Social Security number of the dependents when we process returns. So that's something we don't currently have to do that we would have to start doing. Those are just a few of the changes. No matter what happens with net operating losses, we're going to have changes because it's just substantial. Whether you guys choose to connect to it or not, the changes are really substantial.